super excited to be here this morning. I am filling in for our fearless leader, Charlie Staley. He's taking some well-deserved, well-earned time off with his family. So you're getting a lot of content this morning from maybe unfamiliar faces, but I'm super excited to be here. I'm Diana Gabler, the team lead out in Keller Williams Lake Country. Hello, everybody. And we're just gonna jump in. Are you guys ready? I see the snaps, I love it. Awesome, okay, here we go. I'm gonna start this morning with upcoming training and events because the gals who worked on this training calendar for this month particularly have outdone themselves. We've got a packed agenda this week. So a couple of things to remind you. Daily, there are things that happen on our calendars, on the Market Center calendars. You can log in through Zoom or you can attend in person as we start opening up here. There's also a host of information that you can dive into on KW Connect. So I see Brad shaking his head. If you don't know how to get to KW Connect, talk to me, Lindsay, Brad, any of the leadership team here. We're here to support you. And you can actually search for topics if you are interested in or log into one of these here and you'll see it as you go. So it's a great way to stay up to date. I'm particularly excited, you guys, about this opportunity. It's tomorrow. Gene Rivers is one of the kind of icons of Keller Williams. He's built a seventh level team, which means he dips into his team a couple hours a week to keep it running because he's been that successful. So he's going to be here tomorrow all day. It starts at 9 o'clock, sharing information. We're going to live stream it at the Lake Country office and at the North Shore office, all about lead gen, you guys. And right now in this market, this is critical. So block your calendar for tomorrow. Join us. We'd love to see you here. And I think your business would absolutely benefit from spending time with Gene Rivers tomorrow. So, okay, you guys, after that, look on your calendars on Wednesday. Dave Jenks, Secrets of the MRA is next week. This is the guy that wrote the book on how to do this business. If you are unsure of what comes next, you want a reminder, you want to be excited and engaged, this is a great thing to tune into. And then the week after that, we have a team admin mastermind with the Loken Group, and that's on Wednesday. So take a look at your calendar, dive in, see what makes sense for you and your business right now. Wednesdays are particularly exciting, and we look forward to all of the success you'll have when you plug into the training that we have available. We love seeing you guys, and we love seeing what it does to your business. So, so that's what I know. And I'm going to turn this over, you guys. We continue to train, continue to give you the tools that you need to succeed. And we have a really new exciting opportunity. So Lindsay, if you're on, I'm going to hand this over to Tech Tuesday. We're going to be talking about the MLS Connect and ZipForm.
Yes. Hey, good morning, everybody. So this is a really great feature. I think a lot of people have asked at some point, do we have this connected in our ZipForm account? Turns out we do. This is a free feature that we can utilize. Connecting ZipForm with the MLS Connect. So it'll make it so much easier when you're drafting your contracts within ZipForm. So Diana, if you want to go to the next slide, this is starting the setup in MLS and then going into ZipForm. So I'm actually going to show you exactly how to do this. And if you guys, can't figure it out or anything like that, feel free to reach out directly to me. And we can set up a one-on-one to go through this. I will also be sending out a step-by-step training guide on how to do this. But right now, you guys, I'm going to share my screen and walk you through it. All right, so bear with me. So if Diana, you can stop sharing your screen, and then I will go ahead and share mine, and I'll walk everyone through this. All right, bear with me 1 second here. Okay, so you guys, so the first thing that you're going to have to do is establish the connection within MLS first. So it really doesn't matter which listing you connect your ZipForm account through. So when you're in MLS, you'll just choose any listing. So I'm going to just use this first one here. And you'll notice if you click on more, there is a ZipForm option. So you'll choose that ZipForm button. And my screen might look a little bit differently than yours just because mine is already connected. The first screen that you're going to see is actually a little information about the MLS Connect, and there's going to be a green buy button. So you'll click on that buy button and you're not actually purchasing anything, but you'll click that and then you'll see this screen where you're going to enter in your ZipForm Plus credentials. So that username and password that you use to log into ZipForm. Once you do that, the next time you create a new transaction in ZipForm, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new offer transaction in ZipForm. So I'm just going to do Granic test. Let's say it's residential, active. I'll choose my template in here, residential offer packet. So you'll do this as normal. You'll hit save, and that's going to take you into the summary section. So this is the section where you can pull in that MLS listing. And all you're going to do is click on MLS Connect right at the top here. And you're going to enter in that MLS listing ID. So I'm going to go back into MLS and I'm going to copy this MLS number and then just paste it right in that field and click on find. And so that's going to pull in that MLS information. So it might just take a few seconds here, and then you can click on import. It'll ask you, do you want to replace existing data with imported data? You can click yes. And you'll notice that this starts to auto-populate some of these fields, which is really, really nice because when you open up like the offer to purchase, for example, you'll start to see the property address in there. You'll see the inclusions, exclusions. So that'll automatically show up if I go back into documents here. So let me click on the offer to purchase. You'll notice that now this listing information is showing up. So here are my inclusions, my exclusions. So it's really nice that some of this information gets auto-populated. And that's all from that MLS Connect button. So you guys, like I said, I will be sending out a training guide, just step-by-step instructions on how to do this. And then if you guys have any questions, again, just reach out to me. We can set up a one-on-one. And then no training this week. So no tech training. I will be out in the Wauwatosa office today all day, and then in Lake Country on Thursday all day. But next week's tech training topic is actually all on opportunities and ZipForm. So if you want to attend that training just for a good refresher on opportunities, how to utilize ZipForm in the best way possible. And then I'll also be going over that same MLS Connect during that training next week. So again, just stay tuned for that training guide. And if you have questions, reach out to me.
So thanks so much, Lindsay. We did have a couple questions. Just one quick, I want to ask you, does this auto-populate into DocuSign then too, or is this just ZipForm? Do you know anything about that? Or
I believe it's just ZipForm. However, if you're connecting ZipForm into DocuSign, that might be the same sort of connection. I would have to actually test that out. So stay tuned for that because I will dig into that a little bit so that I can kind of let everybody know during training next week. I'll figure it out.
Awesome. Super appreciate that. And I'm going to borrow one of Charlie's phrases that he says all the time, right? Automate, automate, automate. And that's a perfect way to help you make sure that you're connecting things correctly and you don't have to double entry. And I love it. Thanks so much for sharing that, Lindsay. That's awesome. You guys, now we're going into we've got a heavy lifting today on compliance. We've got two topics that we want to talk to you about. Both are super interesting. So I'm going to turn this over to Steph, and she's going to chat with you about fair housing today. So,
hi, good morning, you guys. Happy
morning.
You're gonna, yes, as Diana said, you're gonna get a double dose today with Joni and I again. It's your lucky day. So, happy Fair Housing Month and happy April. So, to help celebrate Fair Housing Month over the next few Tuesdays. We're gonna pick a topic to talk about as it relates to fair housing. So really excited to be highlighting some of this stuff. I just wanted to kind of go back to the basics and remind everybody April is the anniversary month of the passage of the Fair Housing Act of 1968, and that's why we celebrate fair housing in the month of April. It was signed into law 1 week after the assassination of Martin Luther King, which I thought was an interesting fact. The act has two main purposes, of course, to prevent discrimination and to reverse housing segregation and outlaw and prohibit the practices that caused housing segregation, like redlining, for example. Can you go back?
Oh, yep.
Well, actually, just as we all know, it of course prohibits discrimination concerning the sale of property, but also the rental and lending guidelines. Now we can go to the next screen. Again, back to the basics. So what are the protected classes that were created under federal law? As we know, race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, and disability. And I wanted to point out that the most common protected class cited in fair housing cases is disability, actually, which I think might surprise a lot of people. Next slide. What are the additional protected classes under Wisconsin state law? So Wisconsin law has added some: marital status, ancestry, source of income, sexual orientation, age, and status as a victim of domestic abuse. Then I wanted to highlight, which I feel like a lot of people might not even be familiar with this, but the Milwaukee County and City of Milwaukee have adopted their own protected classes and have identified beyond the national and state level. So gender identity or expression, military service, that's in the City of Milwaukee only, domestic partnership, Milwaukee County only, genetic identity, homelessness, and if you are someone who receives rental or housing assistance, you cannot discriminate based off of that. So in continuation of this, we wanted to highlight what was going on at the national level in regards to the National Association of Realtors, and as their initiatives start to filter out through the WRA and the GMAR, wanted to highlight the Fair Housing Action Plan that was adopted in January of 2020. This was all in the wake of the Newsday Long Island investigation. That was revealed and published in November of 2019. And this Fair Housing Action Plan was adopted in January of 2020. So pretty swift action. The NAR recognized that obviously there was a need for more training and more action in regards to fair housing after that Newsday article was published. Next slide, Diana. So they're taking a three-pronged approach with this: accountability, culture change, and more training for us all. Next slide. And these are the goals of the Plan Act. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but I just wanted to highlight a few that I thought were most interesting. Exploring the creation of a voluntary self-testing program. So in partnership with the Fair Housing Organization as a resource for brokers and others, so individual agents who want confidential reports on our practices so that they can address problems. This one is particularly compelling to me in that I think it just acknowledges that we all have internal implicit biases that, you know, it's part of human nature, and to take the action to self-test yourself, I think is really meaningful. I think it comes from a place of trying to understand, trying to better ourselves and where we can find out where we're falling short. And again, some of these things in responses to things that we might not even know is wrong, or, you know, or might be detrimental to somebody. So I really like that idea a lot. Then creating more robust fair housing education, of course, unconscious bias training and education on how the actions of realtors shape our communities. And then another one that I thought that I think a lot of people will appreciate is developing materials to help us provide consumers with information on schools that avoids fair housing violations. Next slide. I just like this quote: "We must open up ourselves to receive, accept that just because something isn't happening to us doesn't mean that it isn't happening." So again, in the vein of trying to better educate ourselves. Next slide, Diana. The next thing I wanted to highlight was kind of the biggest initiative that has come from the Fair Housing Act plans thus far. And that is a simulation course, a self-study, a self-test that we can take for free as realtors. And the course is called Fair Haven. Some of you guys might already be familiar with this. The WRA introduced this last month in their legal talks. The GMAR just posted about it last night on their Facebook page as well. So I just wanted to highlight this. I think it's really cool. So the NAR launched, again, this interactive training last year. And it uses the power of storytelling to help us identify, prevent, and address discriminatory practices in real estate. So it uses real life housing discrimination cases, which I think is phenomenal. Agents work against the clock to sell homes in a fictional town while confronting discrimination in the home buying process. During the training, and this I think is the most meaningful piece of it. I took the course over the weekend. It not only tests how you would respond in certain situations, but it also brings you through the course through the eyes of the buyer or the client who has been discriminated against. So I think that's a good way to, just a small way to help celebrate fair housing and Fair Housing Month. I think that you can go to the next slide, Diana. This will help show where the URL. Just challenging ourselves to take this. It takes about an hour. You're given a report based off of your responses. And just, again, like a small way to show your commitment to help, enforcing these principles. It's not time consuming. I would love for you guys to report back and let us know how you felt about it. So yeah, I think it's great. And I would love for you guys to test yourselves.
Yeah, it's curious, as we were talking about this topic and Steph was sharing this opportunity for us, we were talking about, often we look at the contract, right? It's 9 pages plus 4 plus, right? There's so many things in that contract. And you read some of the things that are in there and you're like, well, this is kind of ridiculous. Why do they have to detail this issue? And there's a part of me that just kind of warms my heart, because what that means is some of us have moved beyond thinking that you can use these contractual things, or you can, your own biases are going to affect what's happening in that contract. And the fact that we can't imagine somebody being discriminated against because they have a disability or whatnot means that some progress has been made. But these things are in the contract because people experienced them, right? I mean, if you think about it, it wasn't too long ago before women could open credit and therefore own homes, right? So we've made incredible strides. There's a lot more to do, and we are unaware of our own biases in a lot of circumstances. So Steph, thank you so much for sharing this opportunity. I'm looking forward to diving into Fair Haven myself, just to see what some of my own biases are. And strongly encourage you guys to take some time and do this too, to see where you are. And the market is demanding it, right? Your sphere will appreciate your growth in this area. So thanks, Steph. I'm going to hand this on to some practical conversation about the escalation clause. So Joni, all over to you now.
Thank you, Diane. Yeah, this is, it's sounding like we're talking about time, but it is being used all the time in this kind of market conditions that we're in. And the sellers are facing situations where they might get 10 offers or 30 offers, and half of them have escalation clauses in them. What we aim to do, first of all, please call staff or call me If you have questions, if you've received an escalation clause on your listing or you're prepared to write one and you're unsure about what it actually implies or how it's executed, call either one of us and we're happy to walk through it. This very short slide presentation is something maybe you want to keep too, because it explains just the highlights of it and keeps it hopefully clear for you. The confusion is that there is not an approved form for the escalation clause. So this is the WRA one that we're using. There are many other varieties. There are some agents or firms that are making up their own. And so the variety is what adds to the complications when a seller is trying to sort through them. So what I've done is made a copy here of the addendum EC or escalation clause that we recommend that all of our agents use. It's the one in the ZipForm library that you can plunk right into your offer and have it attached to your offer. So go to the next slide, because I'm taking this form and breaking it down into what are the important things to remember when you're using the escalation clause. First of all, the other offer that you're competing against has to be a bona fide offer. You know, sometimes a little intentions are going awry when somebody puts in a false offer or somebody's brother writes an offer just to escalate your offer. So it has to be proven as a bona fide offer. The other thing, it has to, the other offer has a net price equal or greater than this offer. It's not just the fact that there's another offer out there that triggers the escalation clause in your offer, but it has to be equal to your offer or greater to even come into play. Your buyer agrees to pay so many dollars, and you fill in the dollars obviously in the form, more than the said net price. Okay, it doesn't have anything to do with other costs and effects in the offer. It's just the net price we're talking about. So a buyer can say they're going to pay $2,000 more than any competing offer. That is what they're talking about. The other competing offer has to be equal to their offer or greater for this to trigger to pay $2,000 more than that other one. But the buyer will pay no more than a cap or a maximum of. So to protect your buyer, you put in the clause, the top that your buyer will escalated to. There's been some confusion in that where the listing agent thinks that the cap is what they're offering, and cause it's not what they're offering. It's just saying we won't escalate beyond this. And then to verify that this seller is accepting this escalation clause, it says that the seller sends to the buyer. So you have to set up the email address between seller and buyer directly. It does not go through the agents, does not go through the buyer's agent and listing agent, but directly between buyer and seller within 2 days to complete a copy of the offer. So the seller has to send to the buyer the other offer to prove that there is an offer that's equal to or greater. Of course, they cross off the names, but agents cannot participate in this email exchange, mainly, obviously, because those are confidential terms and no other agent should see the terms of another offer. It gets awkward, but it is the best way to verify that there is another offer out there that competes with your offer. The buyer will execute an amendment to offer to show an increased purchase price. Means when the buyer sees this other offer, then the buyer and their agent then executes an amendment to say, okay, we agree, this is the price, it's $2,000 over what this other offer you sent me, and this is now the price. The seller may initiate such increase only once unless agreed. And this is where other conversations and confusions arise. The seller thinks that every other offer then they get to bump your buyer again and again and again and again. The clause that we recommend that I showed you at the beginning out of ZipForm states in there directly that is only one increase can be executed. If you decide with your buyer that you will be willing to be bumped again and again and again and again up to your max, then you can modify that clause to show that you can strike out once, and you can modify that clause that your buyer is willing to be bumped more than once. But that's probably one of the more confusing aspects of the escalation clause that a lot of agents, not even necessarily the clients, but the agents are not reading carefully. So again, have questions in writing one or in the middle of executing one or being approached with one or 40 in as a listing agent, then please give Steph or give me a call and we'll help sort this out. We really stress to use the form in ZipForm, addendum EC to the offer to purchase. So the last slide, Diana. These are just the final slide, just showing what the seller's options are. And this is becoming more important as the responsibility listing agent. The seller doesn't have to play the escalation game. The seller can turn around and just counter it out. And counter with a set price. They have more than one offer they want to talk to, the seller can multiple counter several offers and just not deal with the escalation clause at all. And we're finding that happening more and more because it's so confusing and a real high mathematic exercise to figure out what the situation is with multiple escalation clauses. The seller may not want to entertain offers with price escalation clauses and put it right in MLS before any showings begin. They will not entertain any escalation clauses in any offers. And they choose to tell their buyers to write the highest and best offer. That's basically saying, you know, you're still open to some negotiations that can be a counter, but that's what they want the buyers to write, and they don't want to deal with escalation clauses. So I forget, listing agents must present the offers unless the seller has provided specific instruction in writing that they don't want to. So if your seller says, I don't want to deal with escalation clauses, you must in your listing contract under non-confidential information say that the seller will not entertain escalation clauses. You need to have that in writing from your seller to show that they will not. That goes to MLS, and MLS can see that in their private remarks then. The seller may choose to respond with multiple counter proposals when they receive multiple offers with escalation clauses. So that's so repeated what I said earlier. There are some actions that you can take to help your seller get the highest and best their property and not overwhelmed or overburdened with all the calculations going escalation clauses. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm not saying as a seller don't use it, but it is there are some modifications that you and your clients deal with here. But any other questions, give us a call. Thank you.
Guys, our compliance people are fabulous. And, you know, I've talked to a handful of realtors recently. I know you guys have probably thought about this. Why demand 6% right now when the market's so hot? Things are going so fast. How do I justify my 6%? It's because of stuff like this. You are earning your commission when you navigate this. It is not easy stuff. So, Joni, thanks for sharing that. Steph, thanks for all of the background on fair housing, and super interesting times right now to navigate. And with that, we're going to dive in to the language of real estate right now. We're going to see what the market's doing. We all have a feeling of it. We all experiencing it. We are all experiencing it. What is the market saying? So you guys, I wanted to share this first slide here. As you can see, this information, again, is the Metro Milwaukee MLS information. So this is the industry in general. We have lag metrics and lead metrics. Charlie goes over these all the time. Closed units, lag metrics, closed sales volume, lag metrics. This chart shows the progress of March 21 over last year, March. So if you read this information, it looks and feels like what is currently happening in the market, right? Our closed units are up from last year and closed sales volume is up, right? Prices are going up. We're going to feel that in sales volume. Our lead metrics, super interesting right now. Listings taken units is down March over March. And that makes sense, right? Last March, we didn't know what was happening. It was still unusual. People were getting listings, right? So we're slightly down from last March. Volume is slightly down in terms of listings taken. And that's our reality in the market right now. Listings are hard to come by. And yet they are closing. We are making offers at a high rate right now. So contracts written units is up. Contracts written volume is up. This bounce back is super healthy. February, it dipped a lot. I think part of that was the uncertainty and getting ready for Easter. And now we're coming up, right? So it's awesome to see contracts written coming up. I think I'll feel better, as will all of us, when listing units comes up too. But I think that's coming along. So you guys, I want to share, this is the North Shore against the MLS, right? So year to date, 2021, success is outperforming the MLS. And if you look here, up closed units, up 28%, MLS is up 4, closed sales volume, up 36, MLS is up 10. The North Shore market is outpacing MLS in every category here, you guys. Listings taken, MLS is down 17, North Shore is down 4. So really, congratulations. Great job, you guys. I think this is super healthy and indicative of all of the work that you guys are doing to get your clients in a good situation. So now I want to go to Lake Country. You guys, look at this. Same situation. When we outpace the MLS, we have success. Our indicators are up and strong as well. So closed units up 68%. It's crazy to me. Closed sales volume up 33, listings sold up 30. Contracts written, look down there, up 104% against the MLS. So I just want to shout out to my Lake Country crew. I love seeing these numbers. And both lag and leading look really good, you guys. So here's something else. We show this on a regular basis. What is happening in KW, in the KW world against our peers? So you can see Keller Williams North Shore and Keller Williams Southwest. We're dominating the rankings here, 1 and 2. You guys look amazing. And look at that increase. KW North Shore up 32%. When you're the size that you are, to continue growing is huge, you guys. KW Southwest up 21. KW Lake Country, we are up 71%. I love that. I will sing that praise all day long. And Prestige, our newest Menominee Falls one, is up 113%. It's on the same trajectory that Lake Country took when it launched, when North Shore took when it launched. So all good signs that our brand is just thriving in the marketplace and acting as a disruptor. So I love seeing this, you guys. This is great work. And a special shout out to our TOSA, Elm Grove, Brookfield colleagues. You guys, look at this. In the marketplace, 42% up from when you launched. This is the rolling 12-month trend analysis based on closed volume. So congratulations, Teb. You guys are also dominating the market. If you can see, Shore West is up there, but they're declining, right? So 4% compared to 42%. I just really, seriously, hats off. It looks fabulous. I love it. You guys are doing great. So the outcome of this, you guys, is all about obviously happy clients, and happy clients translates to value, which translates to dollars. So gross commission incomes, March 2020, 3.7 million. That is up 10% from last year. So It's pretty amazing, you guys. And that's in your pockets, and your families are being impacted in that. This makes a difference for all of you and all of us. So congratulations there. I'm going to share one more. Year to date, KW Milwaukee, gross commission incomes 8.7, up 30% versus 2020. So again, these are our families that are changed, right? Our lives that are changed. So the work that you do is showing up here and making a difference. So one of the things that I love is how this translates to profit share, right? So what and why does profit share matter? Why do we look at GCI and profit share? This all ties together in terms of what our culture is, right? We're transparent. We help each other. Agents are out there doing what they can do to make sure that all of KW has a thriving experience out in the marketplace, because that relates to profits, which then relates to changed lives again. So KW Milwaukee, March 2021, 103,000 in profit share. It's crazy, up 247% from March 2020. So you guys, this is all you. Great work. I love it. Year to date, 194,810. It's 148% up for KW Milwaukee. So again, profit share, it's cultural. This is what we do. And I'm super excited about that. So congratulations. I'm going to dive into market insights. Again, we talked about how it's showing up in all of MLS. Let's dig a little deeper. Right here, what we're seeing is is showing time data. This is in Wisconsin. That blip right there going up. We're past Easter. Things are showing activity is hot and heavy, and you guys know that. You're experiencing that. You're fighting for your clients to get into showings every day, and that's showing on in showing time. So what this translates to, this is our sales absorption rate, right? And we talk about this a lot. This is an indication of demand. It's the percent of homes that are under contract compared to what's available, 15.1%. It is a new record. I don't know how many weeks we can say there's a new record, but here we are at a new record, a new high, 15.1%. It's a lead metric, right? And it also indicates that the tight market is going to continue. So sales absorption connects with units under contract, right? If you think about absorption means taking up the contract, the inventory, which means units under contract is going to go up. We would expect it to go up. And here we have another historic high, 565 units last week. So business is being had. You guys, that's a huge number. That's a huge number. So let's keep going here. This is always the flip side of it. So I don't know if you guys are talking about this, but what I hear in my market center is it feels as if more properties have come to market. If it feels that way for you too, that's what we're experiencing over the past couple weeks. We did have more inventory come to market, and actually it's outpaced the inventory that's gone under by about 30. So as I say, that's crazy to me that these are in single digits, but we do have a positive number here in terms of inventory coming to market. And it is a lead metric, right? Which means that there's going to be more available to close, more homes available for you guys to get your clients into new situations. So positive momentum for sure, and hard work. We know right now listings are hard won. So keep it up. You guys are doing great work. It looks as if the inventory is kind of leveling out, right? So the small incremental gain that we talked about the slide before, it looks like we're holding steady at the high 37, 38,000 in total inventory, you guys. So, so yeah, this is what this is. And it's no surprise you're feeling it, right? It's not as if there are 1,000 opportunities that you guys have to wade through. This is definitely a seller's market. So the numbers bear that out. Okay. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Okay. And Oh, you guys, the reason I'm not moving forward is because that's how we end this presentation today. So we're a little bit early. You've gotten the information you need to kind of think about your next activities for the week ahead. Don't forget to log into Jean Rivers tomorrow, all about lead gen, and hopefully that's going to help this total inventory number crack up, right? So let's try to get this up to 3.8, 3.9 next week. But log into all of the training that we have available, see what we can do about building your businesses in this unusual market. One of the other things that we're talking about here is that, it's kind of a crash course in real estate skills. This market does not come around every day. And if you can master this market, you've got a great future ahead of you because you're navigating a tricky time. So KW North Shore, you're going to be hanging on with Megan. She's going to talk to you about upcoming listings and buyer needs. KW Lake Country, we're going to be peeling off here and doing our meetup. Thank you guys for letting me join you today and run through the numbers with you. It's always a pleasure. We're a little bit ahead, so I hope you enjoy your time. And we're excited about everything that the rest of April has to bring for us. So congratulations on all your success so far, and have a great morning. Thanks so much. Bye, you guys.